Hi and welcome to TOTECS, the platform for integrated e-commerce websites. The team here at TOTECS is proud to introduce the 12.0 release into the platform, offering 1 new feature, 11 improvements and 9 bug fixes. In the 12.0 release, we've added a new feature that allows users to be directly assigned to multiple customer accounts, also known as debtors in some systems. This is a very useful feature for when a user needs to be able to switch between accounts and create orders against these different accounts, such as if they're ordering on behalf of government or larger enterprise organizations. And these organizations may have accounts set up for separate departments or locations across their business. It is also useful for sales rep staff ordering on behalf of many customers. This function is very similar to how the existing sales rep feature works. However, the key difference in this new functionality is that an account can be assigned to many different users, whereas in the sales rep feature, an account can only be assigned to the same sales rep ID and its associated users. In the 12.0 release, we've added additional controls to the Purchaser Manager feature that can restrict managing users to only be able to approve orders when the order total is within a certain price range. This can be very useful for businesses that may have several different purchasing people who are allowed to approve orders, but only up to certain limits. This once again is very useful functionality for larger enterprise businesses, and governments may have several managers who can approve orders. Another improvement on the Content Managed website, within the basket product listing web page areas, we've added new hooks to display a product's height, width, depth, and weight dimensions for each product. When displayed, these product dimensions may help users understand how big or heavy the products are in the order that they're creating. These hooks also could be used to build dimension calculators, showing how much products can fill up a freight unit, such as cartons, pallets, or containers and other units. In the 12.0 release, we've added an improvement to be able to show location-based stock availability in Content Managed web page areas, similar to how the functionality already works within the trade interface. If your business has multiple locations where it stores stock, then customer accounts can be assigned to a primary location of your business, such as their preferred store or warehouse. Then in a Content Managed web page area, it can show the available stock at their location instead of the overall stock available across all locations. This can help guide users to buy products that are available at their designated location, which may help them to get the goods delivered sooner and remain very happy customers. Another improvement we've added to the 12.0 release, there is now the ability to display a list of child products using the product search record format, which is also used in other product listing areas. This allows users to more quickly and directly add child products to a basket, while allowing them to see all the standard product details consistent across the website and see additional information such as volume, discount, pricing. Additionally, in the release, a number of other small improvements have been added to the platform. As always, you can find more information about all the changes in the release notes, which can be found on the TOTECS Forums by going to the TOTECS.com website, clicking on the navigation button and clicking on the forums link, and then clicking on the releases forum will show you all the release notes for that release. To begin with, let's look at the new feature that's been added into the platform. The new feature we'll be looking at in the 12.0 release is the ability for users to be able to be assigned to multiple customer accounts and then to be able to switch between those accounts. So to show you an example of how this works, I've got on a Content Managed web page here, I've got an area that allows the user to be able to view each of the accounts that they have been assigned to, and simply they can choose an account that they wish to use. So the user could choose this pizza and pantry company simply by clicking on the user account, and once that has been selected, then the user can add products to the basket on behalf of that account. And then easily they can go back and then at any time they can choose a different account in which they want to order on behalf of. So in order to be able to make this possible for your user to be able to see multiple customer accounts assigned to them, an administrator user has to set that up within the administration center. So within the administration center, if we click on users and go to the search users interface, after we've found a user that we want to assign accounts to, we can see that there's a new button that has been created in the user listing table. If we click on the accounts button, that will now bring up a dialog when we can assign this user to multiple accounts. So it's as simply as typing in the name of the account, clicking the enter key, and then that account will be assigned to that user. So we can continue to go through this and add multiple accounts for that user. And we can do this for all users. Now, if we wanted to ever remove an account from a user, simply tick the checkbox against each of the accounts we want to remove and click the remove button. Once that's done, those accounts have been removed from that user. So it's up to an administrator user to choose which accounts a user is allowed to switch to, order on behalf of, and other details associated with that account. So the other aspect is that there have been new permissions that have been added. So if we look at the facility permission role assigned to that user, so we have this role called default facility role. If we go into this, a new permission has been added called view customer account. So only if a user has this permission set to allow, then within this customer account selection area is the user able to see all the accounts signed to them. So an administrator user can pick and choose which users are allowed to switch and order on behalf of different accounts to set this permission to either allow or deny. And note that that's going to be across all the users assigned to this facility role. I'll set this up in a content managed website. If we go to the websites menu and go into the websites interface, we need to set up a web page that contains an area called the customer account selection area. Now previously this area was known as the sales rep customer account selection area. Now we've changed the name to be more generalized, so it allows both sales rep users and non-sales rep users to be able to switch between accounts that they are assigned to. And additionally, there's another area called basket selection. So previously that was known as the sales rep basket selection area that allows users to switch between baskets. That has been made more generalized as well, and we've relabeled it to the basket selection area. So once we've got these areas, we need to add them to a content managed web page. So we've got a couple of example pages here. So then once we've got that area added to one of these content managed web pages, then users can then be able to view the accounts that they're associated to. Now besides that area, we can also have a basket selection area that also allows the users to have and create multiple baskets against each of the accounts that they are assigned to. So users can simply click the button to use that account, and then they can then make orders, and they can view products that they've previously added against those accounts. So once again, this is taking over functionality that was solely used for the rep space features and now being allowed it to be accessible and used by non-sales rep users as well, which is relevant for when larger organizations may have one purchasing person that has to manage multiple accounts. So the area itself, the functionality hasn't changed. We can allow users to create new baskets by entering a new basket name. So we could call it basket 2, and we can set a description, create the basket, and now we can see we've got 2 baskets for that one account. So it offers all the same sales rep functionality and flexibility that we previously had in the system. The next improvement we've added into the 12.0 release has to do with the Purchaser Manager feature, where we can put restrictions on the order totals that managing users are allowed to approve within orders. If we go into the Users menu and click on the Purchaser Manager Approvals menu item, first we need to set up a relationship between purchasing user and manager users. So we type in the account of the user, and then we type in the name of that purchasing user and the managing user that they are going to be assigned to. And then we choose, in this case, we've got a user here called Department Manager. So we could think of, in this example, we're assigning a department manager who's in charge of the purchasing of their business, and we're assigning a purchasing user to that department manager. So the purchaser could be working in a team of purchasers that go off and buy things for their business, and then the department manager has to approve those orders. Now we could have another manager that is set up, such as a purchasing executive officer, and the department manager may need to report to the purchasing executive officer, who's part of the executive team of that business. The purchasing executive officer may give the department manager the ability to approve orders up to certain limits. So if we now go and click on the conditions, and then there's a new setting here that is called can only approve orders within an order total range. So if we want to restrict the department manager to only approving orders within a certain range, we change his option to yes. Then we've got a few settings to be able to choose the range or the order totals that they can approve. So the default is it's set to allow them to approve up to $10 million orders. Now we may not want that. We may only want this department manager to approve orders maybe up to $1,000. So we can set an upper and lower range on the amounts that this managing user can order. So if we click that save button, then that has been changed. We may have a second purchaser manager here who may not want to receive notifications about orders that they need to approve. So we can also set this up by changing this setting, and then we could say that they only need to approve orders from $1,000 up until $10 million. So this means that the purchasing executive officer, they're only going to be caring and being able to see orders which are over $1,000 or a large amount. Orders under that can be then are set to the department manager. Now, we don't have to have them in separate ranges. They could have ranges that cut over, so the department manager could instead approve orders up to 10,000. So that means the purchasing executive officer would also see the same orders that are from $1,000 to $10,000. So then any of those users, these department managers and purchasing users, can then approve those orders. Once we've got these relationships set in place, when the purchasing user, so that user proceeds through the order checkout process, then once they submit that order, then once that order has been submitted, they receive a notification saying that the order needs to be approved by the managing user. So once that the department manager user is logged in, if the order was under $10,000, they can see a notification advising that they have an order that is pending for their approval. Now we can see that that order is for $19. So if we change the range for that department manager is allowed to approve, so maybe he's allowed to approve orders from $100 up to $10,000. Once we change that and go back to their logged in session, if we refresh the page, you can see that that order no longer appears. So we can hide or show orders based on the order totals that that ordering manager is allowed to approve. Now, the important aspect about this is that there is no managing user that is able to approve that pending order that we had previously. So basically that order has gone into limbo where nobody can approve it. So we want to try to avoid this situation by making sure that if we do have multiple managers that have restrictions on the order totals that they can approve, that at least all managers cover all the values possible. So that means for this case, we would have to set this value back to 0, or we'd have to set this executive officer to be able to approve orders that are from 0 upwards. So the easiest way is to revert back that setting. Then when we refresh the page, the order once again can be seen by the managing user, and then they can choose to approve or decline the order. In this example, we'll have this department manager approve the order. Now we can set up many users. We could have 10 different users that could be able to have these different permissions or these different ranges of order totals that they can be set up, such as if you're working in a number of different government departments that have a number of people that are allowed to approve orders within certain limits. Now, in order to use the Purchaser Manager feature, it needs to be enabled and turned on, and then it can be accessible from the Purchaser Manager approvals area, as well as within the user permissions. We need to assign managing users to a facility role that has the view Purchaser Manager users permission set to allow. That then allows the managing users to see the orders that are pending their approval. The additional permission, modify pending orders, may also be used to allow managing users to modify the totals of the orders. If that permission is turned on, and the managing user tries to change the order total outside their limits, then the system will display an error saying that they can only approve orders within their allowed limits. So that stops managing users from being able to change the order after the fact, make a colossal sized order. That is not possible with these restrictions turned on. So we're going to see an example of this. If we went back into another pending order, click the modify button. If the department managing user that we've got here, if we set this amount to 30,000, he will get an error message advising that the adjusted order total is greater or outside the limits that he's allowed to approve for the order. And because of that, he's not allowed to change that. The next improvement we've added into the 12.0 release is the ability to show product dimension data within the basket product listing content managed webpage area. So on a content managed webpage that we have here, if we scroll down that have been added to the basket by the user, we can now see that we've added additional hooks that can show the data of these products. So we're talking about a AA battery pack here. So its width is 10 centimeters, its height is 1 centimeters, and its depth is 1 centimeters, and it has a volume of 100 centimeters cubed and a weight of 0.25 kilos. So we can show all this information that would previously be set up or imported into a TOTECS project against the product or set against each of the fields for those products. So by being able to show this additional data here, users, they can get an idea of how big the products are that they are purchasing. Now, there's a bit of flexibility in how we can display this data. So if we go back into the administration center, go into the websites interface, clicks on the website button, and then we go down to the web area format libraries. These additional hooks have been added under the shopping basket area types, under the basket product listing area, in the basket product record. If we then modify a format there are these additional hooks, and they start with _B_unit depth, height, weight, and width. Currently we've got these hooks embedded here, but we could easily change the data where these appear. So we could put this information above the product code if we wanted to by simply just copying these hooks and then placing them in the markup above. So once we've made that change, refresh the page, we can now see that that dimension data is now appearing above the product code. So we can put it anywhere we wanted. We could put them across, we could put them down, we could change the labels of all these dimension labels, or we could choose to even hide them all together, but still keep them embedded in the areas and then use that. So an example of that would be, if we then got all this information, we instead put that data within hidden inputs, hidden form inputs in the area. We could now write a piece of JavaScript on the page that could total up all the dimensions of the product to work out a calculation such as how much those products would have filled a pallet. So this could be used as a sales feature in order to entice users to buy more products, such as setting the quantity here. And then once that, then the totals can be adjusted and show the updated total of how much they've filled up a pallet. So this could be used as an estimator to help entice users to buy more products to completely fill shipping units. And that is just one example you can do. There are many different examples based on however you want to utilize that dimension data of your products most effectively. The next improvement we've added to the TOTECS platform in the 12.0 release is to be able to show location-based stock availability in content managed web page areas. And this is functionality that had already existed in the trade interface, but we've pushed across into the content managed websites. So I'll show an example of this in action. If I'm on a content managed website, I click on the checkout button and go to the shopping cart page. If I type in the product code of a product, such as this product 001, in the stock availability we have here, we've added hooks where we can show stock availability of the overall stock that exists for this product 001. So we can see we've got a green stock level and a quantity of 10, but where for the location stock availability based on the account that this user is assigned to, there is no stock availability and the stock level is red. That shows you how you can have differences and allowing users to see the stock that is available, such as in their store or their primary allocated location if you're a business that has multiple locations where you store your stock. So if we go back into the administration center, under the inventory menu, we have this menu item called locations. Within the locations interface, we can create many locations where stock is stored, and then we can assign locations to this stock. So if we click on this location, we've got P400, we can see that for this product 001, there's no stock available. For product 2, there's 15 of that product in stock in this location, and there's 555 of product 3 in this location that is available. Now if we go into each of those products, we can see for product 001, its overall stock availability is 10, and that's what the user was seeing before. So we've added hooks to be able to show location-based stock availability within the product quick add area, which we're seeing here. There's hooks to be able to show the location quantity as the location level. Additionally, these hooks have also been added to the basket products listing area as well as the product detail area. And we can see examples of these hooks being utilized here to be able to show the quantities that are available in that location. So we can see that this, once again, the overall stock quantity of that product is 10, whereas the stock availability based on the user's account, its primary location, is at 0. So if we go back to the administration center under the websites interface, if we scroll down and go into the web page area format libraries, under the shopping cart area, in the product quick add form area, if we look at its basket product quick add form, there have been new hooks that have been added, and they all start off with quick add product stock location. So we can see there's a number of different hooks that are available to be able to show the location and the quantities available at their location if the feature is turned on for that user. The same also exists within the basket's product listing area. If we go into the basket product record format, there have now been hooks added called product stock location level, so we can see the stock level for that product, as well as we can see the quantity available for that location. And if we go also into the product detail area, we can go into the format there, and we can see there's a number of hooks that have been added that all start off with product stock. We've also got these things called holders, and that means if you're dealing with combination products, when the user selects from child combination products, these holder hooks will update with the quantity of the child product. So they're the recommended hooks to use in the product detail area to be able to show location-based stock availability. And if we go into the search and go into the product search results listing areas, as well as the category listing areas in the product search record format, hooks also exist, and they're called product stock warehouse and product stock warehouse level. So that's the stock availability at that location for that product, as well as the stock level for that product. So those two hooks can also be embedded into the product listing areas and search listing areas. Such as these hooks that we have here. We could have a second color, or we could just purely show the location for those stock levels that we see here based on the user's location. In order to use the location feature, the locations feature needs to be enabled to allow administrator users to get access to the location feature and for that allowed to be seen, as well as within the stores section, within the baskets. We also need to be able to make sure, if we want to show stock availability, the display stock column setting needs to be turned on. We also need to import locations, so that's all done through the data import interface and for the connector imports. So we need to import locations within using the warehouse and product stock import, and then we need to import customer accounts, which then assign locations to the customer account. One of those locations can be set as the primary location of the account. And once that's in place, users then can be assigned to an account that can then determine the location that they can see stock availability for. So this is a great feature that you can show to users, especially if you set up multiple locations, such as you have multiple stores, you have multiple warehouses, or multiple places where stock is then stored separately within your business. It could be even externally located stock, such as within dealers that are separate, or other businesses that hold stock for you. You can use all this information to give the users flexibility on the kind of stock that they can see that may be close to them. Another improvement we've added into the 12.0 release is a number of improvements to the product combination area. So in this example here, I have a watch that is the parent combination product. And this represents a number of different watches that come in different sizes and styles for both women and men's. So we have this parent product that represents a number of other child products. Now we have a product detail area that displays the overall description of this red watch. Within the product combination area, the improvement we've added is now the ability to list each of the child products underneath the parent product in a list form with the product search record format. Now this product search record format is used in a number of locations on a content managed website. It's for products displayed in category listings, in search results listings, and other areas. So we can now use this same format to display each of the child products that are assigned to this product combination. So we can see that we've got a product for the watch that comes in red for men's, it comes in blue for ladies, it comes in blue for men's, green for ladies. So the user has the ability to see all the different products that are assigned to this one overall parent combination products. Now using this area, a user can simply go down through it and add those products to the basket. They can see the pricing of it. They can see any more of the detail. They can click on the link to go through to that product itself and see the details of that individual child product. And we can also show other information such as volume discounts also that are available in this format if we decide to use them. So this is an improvement that gives a lot of flexibility on the information that we can show in this combination product. If we go back to the admin center, click on the websites menu button and then click on the websites menu link. If we scroll down to the website that we're looking at and go to the page that contains the product combination area, within the product combination area here, when the area setting is set to display as radio button list, the area will use a number of formats. It will use the combination product option details format, display each of the overall records in this list. We can now also choose the product search record, which will be used to display the content within each of these records. Within this combination product options detail format, within the website's interface, under the web area format libraries, go into the product areas and go into the product combination area. If we then go into the combination product options list record, then we can see a new hook has been added called combination product search record. So when we embed this hook within this format, then the product search record format will be embedded and all its details of the product will be embedded into this hook. We can choose to use that format instead of all these other hooks that would be previously available that you would otherwise use in this area to display each of these items. And as you can see here, this product search record format supports flags, as well as being able to provide consistency in the way this area looks with other areas within the Content Manager website. And that gives you a wrap up of all the major functionality changes within this release. There are a number of other smaller improvements and bug fixes within this release. You can find more details about that by going to the TOTECS.com website, clicking on the forums link. Then within the releases forum, you can view all the details of the 12.0 platform release there. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to post on the TOTECS Forums, where we are happy to answer any of your questions or comments you have about the functionality that has been developed. Till next time, thanks for listening, and happy trading on the TOTECS platform.